Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to day number 100. How is it even possible that we got to day 100? Tonight is going to be a very, very special night. In fact, I've got the channel open. We should be joined by PZ shortly. He is actually traveling right now in the middle of the night. I know they're going east. They're en route now to Kyiv and then on to parts unknown in the east. Welcome to you, Jerry Morris, checking in from, let me see, where are you at? Turbaco, Colombia. Colombia is in the house. Welcome to you guys. Peace on day 100. Firecracker 10. Ricochet. Bob Piccarilli. Hey, Bob Piccarilli. How was Dunham's today, Bob? Does that scare you? How was Dunham's, Bob Piccarilli? Patricia Shove, Stephen, Terry Olsgaard, blessings to you guys. Buddy Wilson, Barry's, everybody's getting up in here for day 100. Now, Shirley Phelps, Longview, Washington, welcome to you. Anita Graleski, everybody. We've got a full night because tonight I told you guys was going to be special. And I've got something special prepared. As always, we talk about the news. We give you updates. We tell you what's going on. We go through the maps. We do everything. And we will continue to do that. You'll even get a little bit of it tonight. But folks, we are in day 100. I will be honest with you, and I'm sure Jania will say the same thing. I was there also, PG. You should have said something. I wasn't there. I was driving by and I just happened to see you strutting in there. So, no, I wasn't there, but I did see you. Wilson's Custom Gun Polishing. Nice shirt. Yeah, this is the day 100 shirt. So tonight, folks, is day 100. Honestly, when this started and we made the commitment to tell the truth, we now see that it's even more important than ever because there's so much misinformation out there. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I got connected to a group about 48 hours ago. It takes 5 days for my final approval. But the moderators are already allowing some of my information through. This group has 460,000 members, and it's about telling the truth about Ukraine. So they have already been approving some of my content. I think we're getting ready to crack open a new door that's going to influence an entirely different group of people, and that's going to be fantastic. Larry Barnhill, watch this from Heather Mitchum. Jeremy Teeble, Ontario, Canada, in the house. So, folks, as normal, we go through news, we go through the information, we go through the maps, we do everything. But tonight, we're going to do something special. Yes, I've got some videos, I've got everything ready to go. But I think where we need to start tonight is I've got a few updates for you because the battles are raging in the east. Missiles are dropping everywhere. In fact, most of Ukraine was just under alerts within the last hour or so. Carrie Dyer, welcome to you from Nevada. And there were some strikes. Severodonetsk, there's battling, there's pushing, going back and forth. Ukraine's making a nice push on Severodonetsk. All of these places. But tonight, we're not going to dig into all of that, but I am going to give you the updates, and we're going to start. I've got the, like the 3-minute update we do with the English voiceovers, and we'll start with that right here.
Bakhmut, Liman, Severodonetsk and Sloviansk are the hottest spots in the Donbas. Russian occupiers are shelling Ukrainian positions with heavy weapons. The enemy is trying to advance towards Kramatorsk and Sloviansk. Fierce fighting also continues in Severodonetsk. Due to constant shelling, about 800 residents of the city are hiding in bomb shelters at the Azot chemical plant. Despite the fact that the enemy has occupied part of Severodonetsk, the city will soon be liberated.
Our defenders do manage to conduct certain local military operations, to succeed in conducting these operations, and this gives us a chance and hope that this will continue to happen. What's more, the situation in the city itself may actually change.
It is impossible to determine how much of the city's territory the enemy controls, because of the ceaseless massive shelling. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also spoke about the success of our military in Severodonetsk.
Маємо певні успіхи в боях.
We had some success in the battles in Severodonetsk, but it's too early to tell. The situation there is the hardest now, just as in the cities and communities nearby. Lysychansk, Bakhmut and others, many cities are facing a powerful Russian attack.
In the past 24 hours, the enemy shelled about 30 settlements in Donbas. 42 residential buildings were damaged, 5 people were killed and 7 more were wounded.
In the Donetsk region, the cities of Bakhmut, Soledar and Slovyansk suffer from constant shelling. They are constantly under rocket and artillery fire. The Liman and Izum fronts are the main directions that the enemy is trying to advance.
The armed forces of Ukraine repulsed 5 enemy attacks and destroyed 3 unmanned aerial vehicles. Our defenders are pushing the Russian occupiers out from the east. The deoccupation of the south is underway. Yesterday, the Ukrainian military liberated 8 kilometers of territory in the Kherson region. The General Staff did not rule out that the enemy might intensify its shelling in the near future because of the significant losses.
In the near future, the priority task for the enemy will be to increase the intensity of aviation and missile attacks. They are likely to increase the number of attacks on critical infrastructure, to try to capture the entire Black Sea coast of Ukraine, all the way to Transnistria. Alexei Gromov, deputy head of the main operations department of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine.
In the past 24 hours, the Russian occupiers fired missiles at the Mykolaiv region. They hit a previously destroyed railway bridge. In Lysychansk, a woman was killed by a shell fragment. The enemy artillery also hit the Dnipropetrovsk region. An entire family with 2 children was wounded. Several residential buildings were destroyed.
The enemy targeted Maidansk several times, targeted destruction of the village. 2 houses were completely destroyed and several more damaged. A gas pipeline and an electricity grid were put out of order. Mykola Lukashuk, chairman of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Council.
The border settlements of the Chernihiv region were hit again. The shelling came from Russian territory. Since the start of the full-scale invasion, the enemy has fired almost 2,500 missiles at Ukraine. About 20% of the territories have been occupied. This is more than 3,500 settlements, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky stated. Since the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion, the armed forces of Ukraine have eliminated approximately 30,950 occupiers. The front line is more than 1,000 kilometers long. Ukrainian defenders have liberated 1,017 settlements. Reported by Roman Smoler, Alexei Belov, UATV News.
So, folks, that's what I wanted to give you tonight. I know you guys are enjoying sometimes when you can hear the English and not just have to read it. I've got lots of other things. I think I've got the man in the green room now. But before I flip over to him, so you see, Ukraine is having some pushes back. But it's getting very intense. The battles are very intense, pushing back and forth. But a game changer is coming. We will have to see how Russia responds to it. But heavier weapons are coming. And it's going to be a significant advantage for the Ukrainian troops that they do not have now, being able to reach out at longer distances. With that said, there's lots of other crazy things happening right now that we'll talk about probably even tomorrow. But the naval fleet of Russia is moving more into the Black Sea. And as that one gentleman stated, who's a government rep, he was talking about the goal, once again, of Russia to get all the way to the Transnistria. We've been talking about that from way early in the war. So here we go. Day 100. Let me roll over here while we got you. Welcome.
Oh, hello, friends.
What time is it?
It is 4:13 in the morning.
Okay. Zhenya, we're just going to go, and hopefully I get to keep you. When we started this, can you believe where we're at?
No, absolutely. Not even close.
Not only that, we'll have accurate numbers. Usually, PK gave them to me a couple days ago, and then they recycle. But we're at day 100, and we're pushing $110,000 raised for the support of the humanitarian aid, the military, food, refugees, everything. Mm-hmm. I thought about that. We've raised over $1,000 a day, just a group of people and some churches. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's shocking. So we're very thankful for that as well. So thanks to all of you for being a part of that. Okay, there's your heart. You gotta let me know. Zhenya, when we first started this, we've talked about this a couple of times, that we thought we would never. You know, I thought 7-8 days, everything stabilizes, and we're back to normal. Here we are 100 days later. Where are you? Vinica?
I would just past Vinica and did stop just to say hello and send you update, and I mean spend some time for sharing and together and talking about 100 days of fight, war, belief, I mean faith, staying in faith,
Yes.
hope, helping, traveling.
Well, let me ask the question. Let me ask the question that is probably on everyone's mind. Where are you going at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night? You left Khmelnytsky, and
yes,
you're over in Vinica. In fact, I will help everybody out here.
Okay.
Yeah, man, come on. We do it right. I'm using a different map tonight because I've got other things connected. So we're going to go blue, of course. Here's Khmelnytsky, where Zhenya has started a little while ago. And basically went a little southeast. He's now in Vinica. All right. And before all the guys get mad at me for telling locations, we're not giving his exact location, but he's around that area.
Okay. Go to Zaporozhye then.
Okay.
It's a big place.
Yeah, you know, Zaporozhye is a pretty big place. Is that the destination?
No.
Okay, well, we're going to go to Zaporozhye.
Okay, let's.
So we're en route to here.
Okay, the closest place to that, the next place, it will be Gulaipole.
Gulaipole.
Do you know where is it?
Sure. Let me just pull that one out of my map studying ability. No. Where's it at?
Check the border. Let's say the front line, close to the line to the east from Zaporozhye. Yes.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
It only takes a little while. Right there. And the front lines.
No. Okay. Yes.
That's the front lines.
Correct.
Approximately. You getting kind of close there.
Yeah. Then we're going up. Let's say to I will skip couple places, and then we're going to Kramatorsk.
Wait a second. Let's go back. We're going to Kramatorsk. Oh, wrong image here. Let's go here.
Yeah, Kramatorsk is Ukraine for sure.
You know, it really is. We've been there many times. We're going to Kramatorsk. And folks, we talk about Kramatorsk all the time because that's the key city that we've discussed. So here's Severodonetsk, where the hottest battle in Ukraine is. And from Severodonetsk to Kramatorsk, do you know how far it is as the crow flies? I do. 47 miles. So you're very, very close. And Slavyansk and Lysychansk, everything being Konstantinovka. Izum is right here. You're going to be right south of Izum. There's Golovka.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
then
taking?
we will get back.
Stuff?
Yes, then we will get back and probably go to Kharkiv.
Okay. Well, I'll be there soon, and we'll make those runs. I'm working on that right now. I'm bringing security with me and body armor, and it's imminent. It's like the return of Jesus. It's going to happen. I've had enough. I'm coming to Ukraine. So that's what you're doing. You're en route there.
Yeah, we're bringing food.
Are you bringing food?
Mm-hmm. Food, medicine, and other stuff.
Food, medicine, and other stuff. So we'll leave it at food and medicine. And then in addition, we're bringing some other stuff. Traveling at night is better, right? Ricochet. Why, Greg? Why? You know what? We'll let you answer that. Or are you asking me that, Ricochet? Why am I going? Well, if you're asking me why I'm going, it would be like asking you, why would you go to the United States if you were out after giving so much of your life to that? That's why. If you're asking Jania why he's going over there, why are you going over there?
Because we have war in our country, and it's a part. I'm not. All of us cannot stay aside.
Everybody has to do their part.
Yes, it's our part. We can do it this moment. So 4 of us going together at this moment.
I think what people do not understand, honestly, is how much of a disadvantage Ukraine is at in this war. You know, we've made the jokes many times, David versus Goliath, but it's really the truth. And if the citizens were not working together with the government and with the military, you know, their infrastructure is not like ours. It's just not. This is why we get so frustrated. If we could just turn loose a few of our boys, this really would have been over a long time ago. And it's not that our boys are better. They're not. There's some great soldiers there. But our infrastructure and, of course, our weaponry and our expertise and our technology, yes, that is better. But the heart, you're not going to touch the heart of a Ukrainian. So that's the deal there. So be safe, man, and we will be watching that. Now, I want to do this. I've got other stuff I want to show. I'm gonna show this right quick. Take a look at this. Bam. This is the movement from day 1 to 100. First of April, 7th of April, 8th of April, Kramatorsk, the train station. May, Mariupol, 87 soldiers killed north of Kyiv. Severodonetsk, major battle, coming into June. And here we are, June the 3rd. So that's just a quick look at the map of, what's been happening, what's been going on over the 100 days. And of course, we would not have expected that. Now, Jania, this is what I really wanted to do with you tonight. And I want to do this, and then you can get on your way. And this may take our entire time. I've got other stuff to share, but we have to do this. We only have one day 100. So I have this prepared, and we're going to go here. Everybody, buckle your seatbelt and get ready. Jania, on February the 24th, you and I were together. And we just did it on the fly. Russia attacked Ukraine unprovoked. I made that slide. There was the time, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We've now, of course, 30, 40 days in, we figured out. Had a lot of West Coast viewers. We moved it to 9 o'clock Eastern. Now we've picked up Philippines. They're watching at 9 o'clock in the morning. It just evolved. We had no idea. Day one, live interview tonight with Yevgen Matsutsa on the ground in Ukraine. No idea. Update day two. I was just talking about what was happening. Update three. That was the day that Kyiv came under the terrible missile attacks.
Yes.
Was on the third day. Now, I'm just going to click through these, and if you have any comments, rip them. But this is when Kyiv, day three. Day four, we were still getting our feet wet. We didn't understand we didn't really understand anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, these days, it's like, let's say, the most crazy days for people, calling and posting and asking to stop it. The people in Ukraine, some popular people, like music stars and the bands and the politics, some politics, starting to asking, hey, stop it, and please, Russians, please stop your soldiers. It's craziness. So at this moment we couldn't realize.
Well, maybe it was like this. I think we could even describe it as, here at the fourth day, it was like, is this a dream or a nightmare? We were still in a fog that this was even possible. Then day four, it was the day when we did open our first shelter center for refugees. I remember it. Day four is when we opened the shelter.
Yes.
96 days ago. That's why day 5 you came back and we talked about it. So there we were, day 5. Day 6, Rostislav Viktorovich Kadin was with me. I talked to Rostik earlier today. He's going to be on one day next week with me. And we're going to talk about the church situation in Russia. It's gone crazy. It's gone crazy. You guys enjoy Rostik. Day 7, we were still shocked. I was giving new updates, war in Ukraine. Day 8, this is when we were raising money from day 1. But on day 8 is where we really got serious. PK, was already rolling. But we realized about day 8 that this was going to take some money and some resources. And I think also about day 8, we realized that this was not going to stop. Honestly, day 1, I thought a week.
Yes, like nobody could imagine. And it seems to me it was the day when I digged out my Instagram account after some years of not using it. And I started to post something about what's going on and sharing something.
Here's what I can tell you, Jania. I don't regret 1 minute of starting these updates on day 1. There's been some tired days. There's been some days you don't feel like doing it. There's days I've gotten you at 4 a.m. like now.
Mm-hmm.
There's days you're tired of talking about the country you love being bombed. But somebody's got to tell the truth, and we all have to do our part. So day 8, we figured out that we're going to be better together, and we're going to be better until victory. Day 9, you were with me, and special report with Jenya Matsutsa. That was the day that the monastery was hit. And I had put the picture of the church there, and we had some nuns and priests that were killed, and the world began to discover that these targets were indiscriminate. I mean, they blew up a monastery. We go to day 10, and I remember this day well, refugees and roadblocks. This is probably, the shelter was going now for 5 or 6 days, and I can remember this completely. Bridges were now being blown out, and people were having to drive down and figure ways to get out, and the refugee flow in Khmelnytsky was unbelievable.
Yes. Hard days.
Very
Really
hard.
busy.
Day 11. The most difficult day yet. That was the day that the truth and revelation started to come out of some things that were happening in the north. Bucha, Gostomel, Irpin. We started to figure out, there's murder going on. Day 12, President Zelensky went out, made a visit with some of the troops. He was in his full gear. It would have still been cold during this time. Day 13, Rostislav was back with us. Live report. Day 14, look what we started talking about. Can you believe it?
No.
Now, here's where the history is. First of all, that was a picture of Mariupol, and it was winter, no leaves. That was a real picture from that time. And you see the sign. What color is it?
Yeah.
Blue and yellow.
I see. Yes.
Of course, now that's gone. But we started to learn about Mariupol on day 14. Day 15. This was the day we thought that maybe we'd have a breakthrough. Kuleba and Lavrov met. That ended up in torture. Day 16, we started to discover that Mariupol was being leveled to the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
Day 17, I'll let you speak about this one. Orphans. I remember we talked about, right here, we talked about real orphans whose parents are being killed, but then we also talked about military orphans where like it was a single parent and that single parent went to fight. Now that kid, like with grandma or something, but it's just still orphans.
Yes. And it was the days when people started to realize, some families and the parents, did some painful, let's say, moment in the future about being aside, being separated, let's say, and it's not easy. And it was, seems to me, the days when one of my friends, the family, one of the families, they started to think about to adopt one of the kids, and they started to process it.
We helped with that.
But no, it was the other family.
Different one.
You don't know that
okay,
story.
Different family.
On that moment, I think we will share the story when it be. But we did help one family, and we will when the next one more step, and we will share. It will be great story.
And I think that's what's important for people to know is we're not just providing for refugees and providing food and humanitarian aid and clothing. You know, we're supporting orphans, we're supporting military, we're supporting infrastructure, we're buying fuel. It's quite a thing going on. Day 18, the war changed because that was the first day that Lviv was attacked with missiles, and of course,
At this moment,
it's still being attacked.
at this moment, seems to me we already had all three refuge centers working. At this moment, seems
It
to
happened
me,
that
yes.
quickly. From 0 to day 18, we went from 1 shelter to 3.
Yeah, we started from 20 people, and then we been able to accommodate for one night 150 per night.
Day 19, we were updating. Day 20, it's when Odessa started to come into the picture. Odessa was starting to be struck, and that is when Odessa started to build up all the barriers to protect their monuments and to protect their infrastructure. And we're at day 100, 80 days later. Odessa is still being struck, still a target. And as you heard on the news tonight, ultimately it is the goal to connect Rostov-on-Don all the way over to Transnistria, which means Odessa has to be taken. Zelensky, day 21, he spoke to the Congress in the United States. Dude, 79 days ago.
Yeah, but it was important day,
It was.
important message.
Yeah. And it's like yesterday, man. War in Ukraine, day 22. Europe remembers World War II. This is where Boris Johnson started getting strong. Boris Johnson. I remember every one of these. I have notes on every program. Boris Johnson started getting aggressive. And I was saying on the program, you know, these guys like Boris Johnson have grandparents that tells them or told them about World War II, or great grandparents. And there are going to be some European leaders that are not going to want this to happen again. Day 23. Remember this day? Vladimir Putin spoke in that big stadium. And that was the day the world began to see the Z even more and the flags waving. And this was the first look at what was like, oh my goodness, this looks like an Adolf Hitler rally with the flags and with the signs and with the Z's. That was day 23. Day 24.
Hypersonic missiles.
That was the first day that Russia fired a hypersonic missile. And of course, and its target was that infrastructure in Lviv. Day 25, we were together talking about it. Day 26, that was the day that Vladimir Putin said, we will have no deals. And then Zelensky said, we will have no deals. We will not give up our territory. That was day 26. And by now, it's getting very, very clear to us that this is not going to end anytime soon. Day 27, what happens next? This was the day that President Zelensky made an appeal to the world, because it was the day before that Vladimir Putin had said there's going to be no deals. And at this point, this is where Zelensky was saying, okay, we're in it for the long haul. We're not giving up our territory, not 1 inch, but we need weapons. 28. This was the day that NATO started to move their troops up on the borders. This was a big day.
Yeah.
Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Russia was reinforcing.
Yes, and we had some hope that it will be not just, help us as a sign but maybe there will be one more step.
Yeah, I think there still will be one more step. NATO speaks. NATO came out and they said after they moved their troops over, Russia, if you touch one of our pieces of property, we're coming. And then they flipped it back on the Vladimir Putin and said, now it's your turn. Day 30, we started talking about Turkey. Erdogan. For him, he's been sitting on the fence the entire war. 31, that was a full 31 days, and you and I that night looked through the map and looked at every detail, every attack, every line. Day 32, we continued talking about the war. 33, back to Mariupol. Being destroyed. 34. This is when, folks, it seems like this was 2 weeks ago. It wasn't. This is 60 some days ago. There were negotiations in Turkey, and everybody was hoping we were going to have a success. But we see where that ended up. 35. This is when the propaganda machine unloaded, and the world was starting to question what to believe, especially America. And that night we came out with who and what do I believe? And as of now, day 100, the propaganda machine is rolling. In fact, I've got some very interesting things on tap for tomorrow night. 36, this one's yours.
Yeah.
You told me, and we worked on this for a couple of days, and you said, Greg, show the people Abkhazia.
Yeah. The lessons of the history.
Correct.
What kind of consequences this country could have, and so on.
Correct. And it's like last night, I played a clip from Shalamov, and he said, he was questioned, who's going to rebuild Mariupol? And he said, we will rebuild Mariupol. Well, we know that's a joke. They won't rebuild anything. It's going to look just like Abkhazia. 37, propaganda. Continue. 38, we talked about fires, environmental destruction, and more of that's been coming out now. You know, there's an environmental disaster in Ukraine due to the amount of shelling. 39, I can't remember specifically what happened, but it was rough road ahead. 40, the war rotates east and south. Isn't that amazing? The first part of the war, north, Kyiv, Chernigiv, and then it rotated. And we're right on top of it. That was day 40. Day 41, we did an analysis that night of Ukraine's military versus Russia's military. We showed the details. Day 42, Irina Vereshchuk told those in the East to leave. And some could, and some couldn't. And that's some of the regions now where people are trapped. 43, we talked about what would be next. What would be next? 44, Kramatorsk, where you're heading now. That was the train station, the missile strike. Unbelievable day. Red Forest, 45, told the truth about Chernobyl. 46, the true cost of war. We begin to talk about how many people were losing their lives. 47, we were waiting to see what Mr. Putin would do next. 48, Putin and Lukashenko met. Grandpa. Putting the world on notice. 49, this is when the new general came in, Dvornikov, and he said, we want 5-to-1 ratio. Well, in some places, according to President Zelensky, that's moved 20-to-1. On day 50, I remember this. You and I were together, and I would play the clip, and I would say, fact or fiction? because we were 50 days into the war. Here we are on day 100. 51 started talking about, is this World War III? That's still the question to be answered. 52, Mariupol ultimatum. That ultimatum, that was when the drama theater was struck. President Zelensky said that if any of those Azov soldiers or civilians under there were killed, that Ukraine would never, ever negotiate with Russia. That's when we started talking about 53.
The history of Azov.
Azov and the Nazis.
And yes.
You remember this one?
Sir.
54.
Yeah.
The Neptune prophecy, the cartoons.
I did like it so much.
55. Rostik and I talking about the top 10 things. 56. We're running out of time. Ukraine was screaming for weapons. 57. Talked about Gorbachev. He gave a warning about Putin. I played it for everybody. 58. The Putin plan. 59 is when we got the video from the children of the Azovstal. 60. When Zelensky prayed in the church. Powerful. 61. The Holy War. Kirill.
Yeah. Yes.
62. Moldova. I said, mistake. Will it be a mistake if they go after the Transnistria? 63. We were looking for a Mariupol miracle. And this is the point when some of those guys were able to be rescued, the civilians. 64. The changing face of the war. 65. Liberation. Russia keeps saying, we're liberating, we're liberating. We were trying to explain what liberation is. 66. We taught everybody about the ghost of Kyiv.
Yes.
67. Kherson strategy. That is when I talked about Kherson was the key place because from there they could attack everywhere. And we see 33 days later, that's what's happened.
Yeah, it's still the very hot place and very important, strategic.
Absolutely. 68, the red car. Pomnish. The guy left 3 vehicles filled with gas and the keys in them.
Yes, yes, correct.
Day 68. Yes. Unbelievable, man. 69, the isms. We were talking about fascism, Nazism, all these different words. Took 2 shows to get that done. Rostik and I together, day 71. 72, we begin to talk more about Poland. 73, Sergei Volin spoke to the world. We played that video clip. This would be the gentleman that I made friends with on Facebook. And I've not heard from him since he was taken captive. Propaganda's not the problem. Of course, we were doing a play on words there. 75. This was May the 9th or May the 10th. Understanding Putin's Victory Day speech. 76. The Faces of Azovstal.
Yes.
77 is when I said the war did not start in 2022 or 2014. It started February 21st, 1848 with Karl Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, and now Putin. 78.
Yes, special investigation.
Yes, special investigation. 78. Finland found out they were coming to NATO. 79. This is when I played Budanov, that Putin can't win. 80. We were talking about, don't say that word, they'll take me down. That's when I was being taken off the air because we kept saying that word 2 nights in a row. That was day 80.
Yes.
81, you were in Kharkiv.
Yes.
And now it's looking like 101, you're going to be in Zaporozhye. 82, 264 rescued from Azovstal. Confirmed. 83, showed video of the front lines that night. What battle was really like. 84, started to learn what racism is, or Ruskism. 85, Palomar spoke. Only 15 days ago. 86, Van Victory Day.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And then the last days of Azovstal, we gave the inside look, made that tribute video. That thing's
Yeah, the
taking
great
off
video.
now, man. It's taking off now. 88, we taught people how to understand Europe. 89, the treasure of Azov. That was a great program talking about now Russia has every port on the Sea of Azov. Every one. It's ridiculous. And it's a treasure trove. 90. The world does not
Yes.
understand this war. They still don't. But we're doing our part. 91. World War. Not with missiles, but with food. 92.
Yes.
Look what we started to talk about. 8
Severodonetsk.
days ago. Severodonetsk. 93.
Oh.
Plus 7.
What does +7? The changing
It's
the digits and trying to unify the system.
it's going even more, even now. Russia, France, Germany, nothing accomplished. Stop calling Putin. 95, we gave another update on Mariupol. 96, U.S. EU vital decisions, making mistakes. I actually gave a quote there from Rommel from Germany. Training errors are recorded on paper. Tactical errors are etched in stone. 97, Shamanov showed his interview. 98, updated Severodonetsk. Although we're getting a pushback now, it's still very, very hot. 99, USA signals huge mistake is coming. And those mistakes were talking about potentially buying oil at a discounted price from Russia. And secondly, telling Ukraine that there will be a limitation on the striking distances of your weapons. It's just you're giving your playing cards away. And that was a mistake. And brother, we make it. Day 100. And we are still here. With that said, today's a special day. We didn't dive into other things, didn't go on tangents. Folks, can you believe what we've covered in 100 days? Jake, it's unbelievable. But with that day 100, I want to show this, and then we'll sign off, and you can get on your way. I can see it's already daylight there. Thank you, and for the brothers pausing, this was important. This was day 100. But, folks, I'm going to tell you something right now. Why do I love Ukraine so much? Why?
Okay.
Почему?
Okay. Tell me.
Потому что gladiolas. No. Why? Because they're loyal, they're committed, and let me tell you something. They've got humor. President Zelensky and his crew, on day 1, after being struck with missiles, popped out from under the ground and made that famous quick speech. We're still here. I'm here. Prime Minister's here. Ukraine is here. And today, on day 100, the same crew came out on the street and said, we're here. We're here. An amazing. So what I've done today to close out the program tonight for day 100 is I've taken day 1 and I've taken day 100. Zhenya, this is pretty good, and I haven't showed you this, but here you go. There's a little present for you and the boys there to energize you on your trip.
Okay.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу Президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу Президента тут, прем'єр-міністр України Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Наша команда набагато більше. Збройні Сили України тут. Найголовніше наш народ, народ нашої держави тут. Захищаємо Україну вже 100 днів. Перемога за нами. Слава Україні! Героям слава!
Well, hopefully that energizes you and the boys there.
Yeah.
Dude,
And I want to add a couple things.
please do.
It's when I look back, and the first day when of open invasion and aggression of Russia, 24th, we did gather in the group of our guys, and we discussing, started to think and pray what we can do, what can be our part, and we started from giving out to army, to civilian people, but to army a lot of from territorial flight, camp ministry, and so on. And I remember that it was like unbelievable what to do. We didn't know what to do, and we started to do something. And now you stand with us that day, and from the first day. And when I look back, the thousands, not just to 2,500 people, refugees we accommodated, but it's already we covered already more than 1,000 after that, with the care and helping and spreading the food and humanitarian aid, and we did it, and we do it together, and there is a power in it, and not, it's just not the thank you. It's, I don't know how to express it. It's just, you know, you like you are sharing your life, and I feel it. I feel that we go there right now, fully loaded with the trailer back, and we going all the time. We're going not alone. We're going with a prayer of a lot of people, with support, with the faith, with the encouraging. So thank you very much for that. I want to say it, and it's and I believe the most important not to stop, not to stop.
Not a chance.
I mean, for us, not to stop to people, because like sometimes people are getting tired because we're human, and when you see, but the war, it's every day, it's a fight. So thank you for standing with us with that fight.
My stoimy w mieście do pobedy.
I mean, thank you.
We stand together until victory. Well, that's all I wanted to do on day 100. I didn't want to dig in and look at lines and look at maps and show other videos and show the nut jobs from Moscow. I'll show them tomorrow. In fact, one of the nut jobs is in Mariupol now. You're going to be shocked at what this cat says. But that's tomorrow. Today is a special day. It's the 100th day of the war. Jacob, we've spent 100 days together, and we're not changing. And oh, beautiful. I'm getting spammed. Hold on. Done. I got an... They gone. It's lovely. It just means the message is getting out. Jacob, we love you, man. Love all the team. Hey, flip the camera around just so they can see the road there. He started talking and it was dark. There we go, folks. Typical, beautiful Ukrainian road. Wake up. We're loaded.
Yeah. Went off. They were okay.
That's okay. Hey, be safe.
Okay.
And I'll check in with you in a few hours. We love you guys. Folks, to all of you, thank you tonight. I see
Okay.
it. We love
Bye.
you. Hold on.
Love
No,
you.
you've been here the whole time. You got to do it right.
Okay. Okay.
You got to do it right. There's that. All right, guys.
Okay.
We love you guys. That's 100 days. Back at it tomorrow night. Going to be loaded with all the updates. Be blessed. To all a good night. No. Good night to all.
To all, a good night.
Later.
Now it's right.
That's right. Be safe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
We try.